And the Checka Pro Radio Show starts now.
I'm taking what they're giving because I'm working for a living.
Hello, my friends. Thank you for being here. I love you. I'm in a good mood today. Checka Pro Joe here on the Checka Pro Radio Show. It's so great to have you here. I'll remind you the best way to reach me isn't by phone, but I'll be giving out phone numbers today because we have a fantastic guest coming in. We're going to save you money and we're going to make you more comfortable in your home. But if you want to reach me, email me, joe@checkapro.com, joe@checkapro.com. You can go to our free website at checkapro.com to find over 100 pre-qualified home service providers to help you with anything around your home. Tom the Attic Fanatic from Koala Insulation is joining me here in the Checka Pro studios to talk about being more comfortable and, of course, saving money in your home. We're going to be talking about solar attic fans, insulation, maybe a attic stairway insulator. Tom, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. I love having you as a guest. I love talking about this stuff. Everything I just mentioned, solar attic fan, the attic insulator, and insulation, I have in my home. And you installed all of them.
I did. Actually, personally. Yes. Yeah.
You were personally on your hands and knees.
Yes.
And you had cougar paws.
Yes. Yep, to put the fans in. The fan. We just put one fan in your house.
One fan.
Yes, that's right.
Those are special roofer boots.
Roofer shoes.
Roofer sneakers.
So you can kind of walk like a cat. You can walk up anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter how steep it is. It's like, they're not sticky, but they're like foam based, so they kind of sink down into the granules of the shingles. So it doesn't, the nice thing about it is it doesn't interfere, it doesn't hurt the shingles itself, so it does no damage to the shingle. And you can walk right up in it because it's not messing with the granules. That's the thing. Those little granules that are in the shingles, they're like ball bearings if you don't have these cougar paws on it. That's why the roof seems slippery. But with these on, you can walk up and down. It's great. So that's great when we're doing like the solar fans. That's why we use them when we come out and put solar fans. So our typical job kind of looks like we'll come out, do insulation, usually add like 6 inches. So say your house was built in the 70s, 80s, 90s. We're going to come out, add like 6 inches of insulation. It's kind of a normal project. A solar attic fan and a stairway insulator. And generally, we can get all that done for, $2,000 or so, maybe even a little bit less, right around there. But then there is a 26% federal energy tax credit that we can also get with the solar ventilation. So there's even more savings, more energy savings, more comfort. That's why this is so great with the business that we're in, especially now with the 26% tax credit. It's even better.
You work with people who are very close to you, other Koala guys,
yes.
Ben and Tyler.
Yep.
And we're going to be giving out the phone number in a little while, and one of them will most likely be coming out. I doubt it'll be Tom. You never know. It could be. People always want to know.
It'll be a surprise visit sometimes.
Is the guy on the radio coming out? Well, you never know. You might get the luck of the draw. Certainly Ben or someone from his group, because you guys, divide the city up, or Tyler from his group. But Tyler's out there in a lot of attics.
Yes. Yeah, it kind of depends where you live. So we're not driving. When I first started doing this, I would drive from Kingwood up to Conroe and then out to League City and then out to Katy. It was crazy. So now we've got it set up where there's more of us, so we can kind of divide the city up. So It's a lot easier. So we can run around, so we can do 3 or 4 appointments in a day, go look at some attics and see what everybody needs. And that way, and we're not such a big hurry because it's not like, I used to I have to go to 60 miles away. I've got to go. You were kind of in a hurry. Now it's like spend a little more time with the homeowner, make sure that all their questions are answered, and it's just a lot better doing the way we do it.
Well,
now.
yeah, because you can say, well, we'll send Ben down, or we'll send Tyler up.
Yeah, he lives 5 minutes
right
from
there.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you guys have a great setup over at Koala Insulation. I'm going to give out your phone number, 281-677-3080. You're going to be hearing that number a lot, everybody, today, because we're getting to that time of the year where it's about to get hot. And when it's hot, you need to make sure you have enough insulation, and also do not forget the ventilation.
Yeah, ventilation to me is critical because of the heat as well as the moisture. So in Houston, we have a lot of humidity, and we go into attics and there's like some mold growth and things are starting to happen. It's like, we need to control the humidity level in the attic. So if you've had, some people know, my house, it just seems humid inside. So a lot of the times it's starting in the attic where all this humidity is kind of stored. So the ventilation, the solar attic fan actually pulls air in from your soffit vents and pulls fresh air in through them, and then it pulls the heat out with the humidity out of the attic. And so it circulates the air. We want to circulate that air 4 to 6 to 8 times an hour, kind of in that range. So the more air exchanges we have per hour, the lower the humidity level will be, but also the lower the temperature, and then that's where you get the energy savings. So, and then some people say, I had a hot water heater that burst a month ago, and maybe the insulation got wet. So you just kind of want to make sure that everything is dry in the attic.
As dry as possible.
As dry as possible. So all these moisture, and then your air conditioning, the ductwork can condensate. So there's a lot of things creating moisture in an attic. So that's why you need these air exchanges as well, not just to pull the heat out of the attic. So number one is to pull the heat out, but then secondary, we want to control moisture levels as well. To me, it's just as important.
You talk about air exchanges. So you're going to have to listen to me carefully to follow me because I might go over your head, even though you're taller than me. So let's say it's 95 degrees outside.
Right.
My attic is 130. Is that fair to say it could be?
Could be. Could be more.
It could be more.
If it's not ventilated properly.
But let's say I have a fan. So let's go back. Let's say it's 95 outside and it's 110 inside and I've got a fan.
Okay.
Okay. And the fan's doing its job. Is there ever a point where the attic will ever be as cool as the air coming in, or is it constantly heated up? Are there enough exchanges to ever cool the air to as cool as the outside air in my attic, or does it always immediately get hot as it comes in?
So your roof decking temperature could be 150 to 180 degrees when the sun's hitting it. So it's always radiating heat into the attic. So that's why we talk about these air exchanges. So the more air exchanges you have, the closer you can get to that ambient temperature. I mean, I've seen some houses, like my house, I actually have 3 solar fans on there. I probably overdid it, but I was like, I want to get it, to your point, as close to the ambient as possible. And if it's 95 degrees, I can literally go in the attic and maybe 97 or 98 degrees because I'm getting so many air exchanges. Now, if we have good insulation in the attic, you don't necessarily need it to be quite that good. So I wouldn't recommend, a house my size, maybe 2 fans would have been adequate. But I
hear your house almost moves off the foundation like a helicopter.
Yeah, and obviously you can't overventilate. So, and I have continuous soffits, so I'm not pulling air from inside the house and not causing any issues. So it makes sense for my house. But that's why we do a free attic analysis to see if you need maybe 1 fan, 2 fans, maybe you don't need any, maybe you just need more insulation. Maybe the soffit vents are clogged up. There's so many variables in an attic. That's why we need to come out and look at it first and diagnose it properly. That is so key, diagnosing the situation. So anybody can come out and say, yep, you need everything. Well, do I? So I always say, if we come out and say you need insulation, you need a solar fan, and you need a stairway inside. If we're saying that, you actually need it, because we actually go in the house and say, you're good. You don't need anything. So I tell people that. So don't get mad at me if you need more than one thing. I don't know what the situation in the house is. A lot of times it's a quick fix. Put a solar attic fan in, lower the attic temperature, and we're good to go. Sometimes, you actually could use some more insulation. And then we'll ask questions. How long are you planning on living in the house? Are we going to live in the house for the next 15 years? If that's the case, then it may make sense to go a little bit more on the insulation. Maybe instead of adding 6 inches, maybe we add 10, because the thicker the insulation gets, when it gets to a point, it starts to kind of get a diminished return. But if you're going to be in it for the long haul, it may make sense to actually go ahead and add that extra insulation. So it just depends. So that's why we kind of work with the homeowner. Every house is different, and every homeowner is different. Every budget's different. That's why we start with the free attic analysis and get the right diagnosis for you guys.
But that's not different for everybody. That is a free attic analysis.
Yes.
You also have a great deal on attic insulation. We'll get to that in a moment. We're going to be talking about solar attic fans. A great deal on that as well. Here's the phone number, 281-677-3080. When someone calls, and only 6 people, that's what you told me today, only 6 people get this deal?
Yes, 6. We actually are busy. It's already busy, starting to get busy. People, we're selling a lot of fans going in, a lot of insulation.
Okay.
So only now's 6 the time to get it done.
From Koala Insulation, 281-677-3080. You can start dialing now. You will get a free attic analysis when they call. What do they get for that?
So the free attic analysis, what we're going to look for in the attic is the insulation levels, also the quality or the product that's in the attic, because we do removal. So if you've had rodents up there and you've got a lot of odors, or there's something's damaged, you've got mold or something in the insulation, we can actually remove that. So that's something that we'll look at. Normally we're just adding to it, but if you do have that situation, we can do that. And then we're going to look at your soffit vents, make sure that they're opened up properly. Look at the ventilation on the top side where we're actually pulling the heat out. Take a look at that. And then we just kind of give the whole overall look and make sure the ductwork looks good. And if we have any other recommendations of things that might be done, maybe you've got some pony walls, insulation's falling off, or it needs to be pulled up tighter, you're getting air behind that. We'll just give it a good overall look and see, and we write it up while we're there, and just kind of let everybody know, what the house needs and what would make sense. And we can even prioritize. Sometimes they say we may recommend a solar fan, but maybe that's not as important as the insulation, or it could be vice versa. We may say, definitely the solar fan is going to make a huge difference. Your attic is an oven, and it has to be taken care of. And maybe the insulation's not so bad. We can do that later. So we could break it up into a couple different trips, or we can do it all at once. A lot of people say, I just want to get it all done, do it at once. As long as you're here.
And you guys can get everything done quickly, probably 45 minutes for the solar attic fan, 2-3 hours top-off insulation. To put an attic stairway insulator in, 5-10 minutes. Boom, done. You guys are in and out. That's what you did at my place. You did all 3 of those within a half a day.
Yeah, normally, so we kind of schedule half days. So we either going to, when we're doing the install, it's going to be a morning appointment or an afternoon appointment, kind of go like that. And then for the attic analysis, kind of plan on about 30 to 45 minutes. We'll spend an hour or 2 hours with you if you have a lot of questions, or maybe more of a difficult attic. If it's a general normal attic, like I said, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, we can be in and out. So it's no high pressure. We don't go some big presentation and really try to get in your wallet like some of these companies do.
Oh my gosh! What's in your wallet?
Yeah, I've been to some. I was actually at a house and they were getting a window presentation, and I was there to do the attic stuff. And he says they spent 4 hours with this window guy, and I was there.
Because they're wearing them down. So buying a car.
They were wearing them down. It's like, well, you're only here for 15 minutes. And of course, what I recommend they went with, and like, man, it was a breath of fresh air. It's just, you know what you're doing. You know what's going to work for the house. Let's either do it or don't do it. Let's just bottom line this. We don't need to be beat up. We know we need it or we don't need it. So that's how we do things.
Blown-in insulation is important. People need to get it topped off. You have a great deal. A 6-inch ad of blown-in insulation. Your regular price is $1.25. What is it today?
So we're doing 99 cents a square foot for a 6-inch ad of insulation.
That's fantastic. So go up and measure your attics, everybody. But there's an easier way to do it. What's the best way for people to get a rough idea to calculate how many square feet are in their attic, Tom?
Well, if you know your basic square footage of your house, if it's a one-story, so say you have a 2,000 square foot house, it's going to be about 2,000 square feet roughly. We'll measure it when we come out to do the attic analysis.
Okay, so if you have 2,000 square feet, it's not $1.25, it's only 99 cents. It's under $2,000.
Exactly.
And you're going to throw in a free attic stairway insulator worth $299?
Yes, that comes with it. And we'll go over that after the break.
6 people get this. Call now, 281-677-3080. 281-677-3080. Didn't get the phone number? It'll be repeated during the break, and when Tom and I come back, we'll be talking about the deal more as well. We'll be right back right after this on Check A Pro Radio. Stand by.
Are your electric bills high? Do you have hot spots in your home? Then call Koala Insulation now for a free attic inspection. Call 281-677-3080. 281-677-3080.
Koala Insulation.
Don't have your new $25 VIP gift card yet? Get it now, free at checkapro.com.
Hi friends, Check A Pro Joe here. Are you tired of spending so much money on your utility bills? Is your home comfortable, or do you feel all the drafts in your home? Well, I have a quick economical solution. What is it, you ask? Koala Insulation. Yes, Koala Insulation is a premier home insulation company focused on being prompt, knowledgeable, and trustworthy. Call now for a free attic inspection. Call 281-677-3080. That's 281-677-3080.
Missed part of today's radio show? No problem. Go to checkapro.com to hear the podcast of all our radio programs. Checkapro.com.
Check A Pro Joe and Tom the Attic Fanatic will be right back with more solutions to reduce your energy bills and make your home more comfortable here on the Check A Pro Radio Show.
Check A Pro Joe here. My friend Russell Metzler is the owner of Gas Product Services. You've heard Russell on my radio show. With 3 decades of experience in gas products, Russell from Gas Product Services is your guy. Gas Product Services sells, services, and installs gas grills, gas lights, gas logs, and all types of outdoor recreational gas products. If you want to build an outdoor kitchen or backyard fire feature, Gas Product Services can do that as well. They service all brands of gas grills, lights, and logs, as well as direct vent fireplaces. They can help you select the right products for your backyard project, and they service a broad area from the Bay Area to Conroe. In the fall months, schedules fill up fast, so call today for an annual servicing of your fireplace or other gas products. Go to their website at gasproductservices.com or check them out at checkapro.com. Be sure to ask for your $25 Check A Pro VIP Club discount. Call Russell today at Gas Product Services, 281-408-4154. That's 281-408-4154.
This is the Check-A-Pro Radio Show, sponsored by CheckAPro.com. What are the latest services, products, and techniques? The pros check in here. Here's your host, the man with a hard hat and tool belt, Check-A-Pro Joe.
I know. Thomas, the producer, again, in my ear, talking to me. 281-677-3080. That's the phone number. So our producer gets calls all the time here at the studio saying, what is the Koala phone number? Check-A-Pro Joe and Tom the Attic Fanatic, I'm taking you down too. Don't give it out enough.
You taking me down?
Taking you down. 281-677-3080. As we went into the break, we were talking about the fantastic deal on attic insulation. Blown-in insulation, a 6-inch ad, which is considerable. Some people need more because isn't 14 inches the recommended amount for the R38?
Yeah, so R38. So we do the 6-inch ad because we find that most houses have about 8 inches, like if they were under insulated. If you need more, then it's not that much more to go from 6 inches to
you're
8-inch
there,
ad.
yeah.
You're just really just paying for the product, so it's not that much more. But we like to do the 6-inch because it's easy math because we're doing that with the special for 99 cents a square foot, so people they get an idea. I got 1,000 square foot, it's going to cost me about $1,000. I can do that. That's fine.
Yeah.
So instead of saying, well, if we do an 8-inch ad and it's $1,180, it's like it's hard to kind of figure out the math. So that's why we do the 6-inch special, and then we also do the free attic stairway insulator, which is for that pull-down ladder or attic access that goes into the attic. It insulates that door or that hatchway. And you can lose up to 20%, 25% of your energy loss just through that door, depending on how thick your attic is. So if we insulated the whole attic to an R38 and we don't address that say 8 square feet of the door, you're losing the heat and cold through that space 38 times the rate of the rest of the attic because that has less than an R1 value to it if it's not insulated.
It's a draft.
Yeah, and the air movement. So you get the air coming through there.
Oh.
But even if it's closed, the heat and cold is still pouring through there because there's no insulation on it. So that's why we put the stairway insulator on there. Now we've insulated the door, and we've also stopped any air movement or drafts and dust and things from coming from the attic into the conditioned living space. So that's why the Draft Master is so important. And I see all the time people are like, well, I got another quote, and it's like, well, you guys are actually cheaper, and you're giving us a free stairway insulator, and the other company didn't even put the Draft Master on there. And it's like, well, that's because they just want to blow and go, and they don't really know what. I hate to say it, they don't really know what they're doing because if they're not doing that, it's like I always say it's like having the windows replaced in your house. You spend all this money, and the salesman, when he's all done, he goes and he kicks the front window out on the way out. He says, "We're all set." That's basically what you're doing with the insulation. If you're not addressing that door, you're leaving this big opening.
Because really, the attic stairway insulator. Sorry for cutting you off, but I'm good at that.
No problem.
And at my age, if I don't tell you now, I'll forget, right?
Yep.
Don't you hate that? You're like,
I'm the same
I
way.
better get it out now because I'll forget. The attic stairway insulator, which is called the Draft Master, that is really insulation. It's just different. It does what the insulation does, almost to the same level, okay?
Right.
So it should be considered insulation. And I try to explain to people, I try to have them envision this, okay? Picture this. You're pulling your attic stairway down. When you do that, all this insulation's falling on you. Well, no, it doesn't do that because insulation is around that in the attic. It's not supposed to fall on you. If it does, you have a problem. You have too much insulation, push it back. But it really should be insulated there. However, if you have what I have, and I've got 3 of these, the Draft Master, the attic stairway insulator, I've got 3 of them. This is basically NASA technology. It has a zipper, right? You go up the stairway to a point, then you unzip it, and you push it back, and you go inside your attic, and it keeps that hot air in the summer in the attic and the cool air in your conditioned space where it's supposed to be in the conditioned space.
Exactly.
And not only does it do a great job, it looks cool. I mentioned NASA. Is that fair to say NASA technology to a point?
It is because it has a radiant barrier on there, and that's what actually NASA invented, the radiant barrier for the space shuttle. So so that's why you say NASA. It's actually true. It's shiny silver-looking material, and then when you say push it back, it's super light. So it's not. People think, what's going to slow me down? I'm like, if it takes 5 seconds to get in and out of the attic with this, it's so easy.
Even Check-A-Pro Joe with his wimpy little muscles here.
Oh, it's easy. And and then you say, well, you have 3. So some people may get confused. He doesn't have 3 on top of each other.
No,
he has
3 different
3
holes.
attic accesses. So one for each
It's like
access.
my head. I got 3 holes in it.
So we'll give you the first one. So if you have a pull-down ladder, and so we'll include that with the insulation project. And if you have another access, a hatchway or something, we'll look at that and we'll get you a price on that. They're not expensive. We can make that work because you may have more than one attic access. Sometimes I've seen up to 5 accesses in one house. Normally it's just one. So 90% of the time there's one. We'll take care of that ladder for you. But if you have more little attic accesses off the sides and things like that, we'll address that when we come out and do the free attic analysis, and we'll let you know. And we'll get the measurements. We have 13 different sizes, so we make sure we get you the right sizes and everything fits really nice, and it's going to do the job that it's intended to do.
Yeah, I've got 3 because I have 3 different attics. I won't get into the details of that, but
right.
I need 3, and it's really a great tool to have. It's a great apparatus to have. A lot of people don't understand that they need it. I have seen people try to take bat insulation and shove it like where like underneath the treads.
Yes.
As you walk up. Well, that does even if it was fully expandable, which is not at that point, it's now shredding. The paper's falling on you. The fiberglass is falling on you. It's because every time you open it, it's a mess. What's nice about the DraftMaster is it's always clean. Because even if anything fell on it, you wouldn't realize that until after you push it up, but you'd be pushing it off when you get up. So there's nothing worse when you pull down the stairs, stuff starts falling on you. It can't happen with the DraftMaster.
Yeah, I think a lot of times if you've had some stuff moving around up in the attic, or maybe you had some squirrels up there and they run across your ladder and you don't have the DraftMaster on there, they're actually stuff is falling on the ladder. So that's why you pull the ladder down. It's like all the stuff's falling down on the floor every time. So another thing that the DraftMaster does, since it seals the door itself, it actually keeps bugs and little varmints, roaches. I mean, I've had people say scorpions because it's actually sealed that ladder off. So you're sealing off the attic space from the conditioned inside space. So it really breaks the 2 environments apart, and that's the idea of that. And that's what the insulation is doing, is separating the hot or cold attic from the conditioned inside space of your house. So that's why we do the door itself. You need to separate these 2 environments because one is harsh, hot and cold, and depending on the season, and then you're trying to keep the house basically around 70 degrees year round. So it's either hot in the attic or cold, and that's where the DraftMaster and the insulation always pay for themselves.
You guys at Koala are really kind to give away a free DraftMaster attic stairway insulator worth $299 with every blown-in insulation job. And on top of that, you're giving away a deal on that. Ordinarily $1.25 a square foot, only 99 cents. So if our listeners have 1,000 square feet in their attic, which I wouldn't say that's small or large. It depends on if it's a 1-story or 2-story. But so, for math purposes only. Let's say it's 1,000 square feet. It would be $1,250 ordinarily. Now it's just shy of $1,000.
Right.
Okay, so if it's ordinarily $1,250 for 1,000 square feet, it's only $990. But on top of that, you're throwing in a free DraftMaster attic stairway insulator worth $299. So now the value is just going through the roof, no pun intended, through the roof.
Exactly.
Okay, and people are going to be more comfortable and save a whole bunch of money now on their energy bills.
Yes, and so sometimes we say, well, the DraftMaster is $299 value because that's what the product itself costs installed. But over, say, a 10-year period of time, you could actually save $1,000 or more in energy costs by having the DraftMaster installed. So to me, it's like, well, it's really $1,000 value or even more, because you can save average is about $10 a month in energy savings with the DraftMaster. So
and it lasts
over
for
time.
And it lasts for a long time. Excuse me for interrupting you again, because I do that.
Yes.
There's really no wear and tear on it. It has a zipper, but that's about it. Otherwise, it just sits there and does its job.
Yeah, we have so the product itself has a 10-year warranty, and I would say, if you ever have a problem, we'll just replace it. We'll give you a lifetime warranty on everything through our company, because they just don't go bad. I never get them back. I've been selling those DraftMasters for 8-9 years, and I've never had one go bad. I mean, it's just there. And
there's
it
no
does
moving
what
parts
it's
but the
supposed to
zipper.
do. Yes, it's not like a car where you're going to have things that could break down. There's not a lot of moving parts. So it's a lifetime energy savings basically with that and the insulation. There's nothing to go wrong. And I always say with insulation never goes out of style. So you put insulation in the house, not like a kitchen countertops or something, or paint colors. It's like, well, it looks great now. In 10 years, like, well, that's kind of dated. Insulation doesn't do that. Once you do it, that's it. You don't have to keep redoing it. Get it to the proper level. And it's going to stay like that, especially if you add in like the solar ventilation and you're keeping the humidity level down in the attic. The insulation is never going to get full of humidity and kind of collapse itself. So that's why we do both insulation and the solar fans, to make sure that the actual attic is actually conditioned and it's good for a good environment for the insulation. It all kind of goes together.
Okay, there's only 4 of these deals left. There were 6 originally. That's what you offered up.
Yes.
Okay, there's only 4 left. we always lose a couple. It's almost always about 2-ish.
2, 3.
Yeah, 2 or 3.
Now, like in July, you might. If we did 6, we could get 6 in the first 10 minutes.
First 10
It's
minutes
crazy.
of the show.
Yeah.
So when you come back in the heat, we're going to have to shake you upside down a little harder, and you have to give more deals, maybe.
That's funny. And we have to give out more deals, but the deals aren't as good. But we still get a ton of
well,
calls
that's because you're so
they're paying-
busy.
Yeah, they're so hot. They're like, boy, this house is hot. I need to do something now.
Yeah.
It's like,
Just get
we try
it
to give a
done.
little better deal out this time of year.
Because you want to keep your guys busy.
Keep everybody busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are busy enough.
We are.
You don't need to be on the radio program in the summertime. That's for darn sure you guys are busy.
Exactly.
281-677-3080. Only 4 of these deals are left. Recap the deal again with the attic insulation and the free attic stairway insulator.
So we're doing a 6-inch ad, normally $1.25 a square foot. We're doing that for 99 cents a square foot. And then we're throwing in the free DraftMaster attic stairway insulator. That goes on the attic door. So we take care of that. So basically insulating the whole attic, including the door. That's why we include that. And that's free with that. So it's a great value. So if you had 1,000 square feet, you're under $1,000, you get the whole attic taken care of. So it's really a great deal. We'll come in, we put the gauges in, make sure that if we say we're adding 6 inches, you're going to say, oh, they actually did a nice 6 inches, a good 6 inches. It's not, some companies actually don't put gauges or anything in, and you don't know what they put in there. You're just taking their word for it, and there's a reason why they're not putting them in, because their word's probably not that great. And it's like, you get in the back, like, where's all my insulation? I thought I was supposed to get 6 inches.
You call them about
So
you mean schmucks in a truck?
Schmuck in a truck, we call them. Yes. Because I've had people say, you were $50 more than somebody else. I'm like,
Yeah, but we did it right.
we did it right. There's a difference. Yes, exactly.
281-677-3080. We are going to be cutting it off at just 4 more. There were 6, just 4 more. And we're going to be going to break in a little while. What I want to do, Tom, when we come back, is I want to talk in the last 2 segments about solar attic fans. So this is it for the insulation deal.
Okay.
And this is it if you want to get a free DraftMaster.
Yes.
Call now, 281-677-3080. 281-677-3080. 281-67. So the reason why I do this is people say you don't give out the phone number enough. So I don't want to hear it.
They say that, but
I
it
don't-
seems like we give it out.
all
You give
the
it out
time.
plenty, but I know people are getting out of the grocery shopping, in and out of the car, so that's why I think that comes back like that.
The other day, a lady called and she said, I was listening for 7 minutes and they didn't give out the phone number within 7 minutes. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So we'd have to do that. 281-677-3080, 281-677-3080. Good news. During the break, someone else will be giving out the phone number and you can hear it then. And maybe when we come back, Tom, we'll give it out again. But what I want to talk about the solar attic fan when we come back.
Yes, and the tax credits as well.
Oh, yeah. Tax credit.
Even
That's
better.
all coming up next right here on Check Up Pro Radio. Stand by.
Missed part of today's radio show? No problem. Go to checkapro.com to hear the podcast of all our radio programs. Checkapro.com.
Is your house cold? Are your electric bills high? Did you answer yes to either question? Then call Koala Insulation at 281-677-3080. Koala Insulation focuses on you, the homeowner. With a clean, prompt, knowledgeable, and trusted team here in Houston, Koala Insulation is here to help. Get a free DraftMaster attic stairway insulator, a value of $299, with the purchase of either attic insulation or a solar attic fan. Be one of the first 6 callers to get in on the insulation and solar attic fan deal. Call now, 281-677-3080. That's 281-677-3080. Don't spend another minute in your uncomfortable home or another dime on high utility bills. Koala Insulation is a pre-qualified home service provider at CheckaPro. Call now to be more comfortable and to save money. 281-677-3080. That's 281-677-3080. Oh, and don't forget to ask for your free attic stairway insulator. Enjoy comfort and save money. Call Koala Insulation today.
This is the Checka Pro Radio Show.
Hello?
Hi, honey. I love our new home, but it needs work.
No problem. Just go to checkapro.com. Look up what you need by category. This site pre-qualifies service providers.
Pre-qualifies?
Yeah, Checkapro checks references on all its members.
Okay, let's see. Home remodeling, roofers, garage door repair, and landscapers. Oh, look, I can email the companies right from their profile. That must be Checkapro.
From AC repair to window replacement, Checkapro is your source for pre-qualified service providers.
This is the Checka Pro Radio Show, sponsored by CheckaPro.com. What are the latest services, products, and techniques? The pros check in here. Here's your host, the man with a hard hat and tool belt, Checka Pro Joe.
I brought an old pro in, emphasis on the pro.
Oh, I thought you were going to say emphasis on the old. Don't do that.
You saw it coming, but I shifted.
You did. You're shifty.
I did. We'll call you seasoned. A seasoned professional. Tom the Attic Fanatic. You know where he got that name? It was me.
From you.
I did because
your nickname.
Well, and you know what?
It stuck.
When you first heard it, you're like, I think I like it.
I kind of like it.
It's fitting. Why is it so fitting? Why is Tom the Attic Fanatic so fitting?
Because I like attics, and I'm a fanatic of attics, but I also like the solar fans.
So you've got the fan, the fanatic, the attic. I can't actually think of a better name than Tom the Attic Fanatic. Well, you're welcome.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Well, I know you wanted to thank me.
Right,
yeah,
right.
So I just said you're welcome first. Tom the Attic Fanatic joining me here on Checka Pro Radio. I am Checka Pro Joe. We just finished 2 full segments on attic insulation and the Draft Master. If you're just tuning in now, you missed the deal. God, that's got to sting. What deal?
What? I missed it.
People hate missing out, don't they? What deal?
I do.
What deal? What deal? Well, we gave away 6 deals. What? No. Yes.
6 great deals.
6 great deals. 6 deals. Not $1.25 a square foot for blown-in insulation. A 6-inch ad, by the way, is now only 99 cents, and a free Draft Master worth $299, and a free attic analysis. My goodness. And you missed out.
Yeah, it's a $1,550 value for $990.
Yes.
That's a good deal.
However, though, stay tuned. Right now, we're going to be talking about solar attic fans. And someone from Koala, when you call them about the fan, ask them about the deal on attic insulation, and they may give it to you.
Yes.
That's not up to me now. I'm just the host of the show. That's up to the Koala guys.
Oh, we'll take care of you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the solar attic fan, Mr. Fanatic.
Sure.
All right, why is it so great? Let's just start with that. Why is it so necessary for us to have one?
We'll start real quick with the benefits. So basically, you're going to have a more comfortable house. So you're going to have, I call it like each room will be more temperate. So as you walk from one room, so say it's July and you walk into the living room and it's 70 degrees. You don't want to walk into the bedroom, it's 80 degrees. And over here, it's 74 degrees. Each room's a little different because there's so much heat in the attic. And what the reason for that is so the ductwork up there is getting inundated with heat. So the air that comes out of the ductwork in the back bedroom, if you check the temperature, will be hotter than the room that's closest to the air conditioner.
Because it's picking up the heat as it's going through the duct.
Yeah, the heat's kind of absorbing into all the ductwork. So when you lower the attic temperature and get the temperature down with, say, 10 to 15 degrees of the ambient outside temperature, so if it's 90 degrees outside and your attic is 100 or 105 degrees, there's not a lot of heat soak into the ductwork, so the rooms become much more temperate. So that room that was 80 degrees, now it's 73 degrees. It's like everything's a lot closer to where it should be. That's the idea of lowering the attic temperature. But it's going to also make the house more efficient. The air conditioner is actually going to run less, and that's going to save you money on your energy bills.
And on the wear and tear.
So air conditioner is going to run less. So that's kind of like miles on a car. If you kind of think about things running, the more hours that are put on it, the less life expectancy it's going to have. So when your air conditioner runs less, you're going to get more time out of it. So instead of maybe the unit lasting 12 years, maybe you get 15 years out of it. So you get more life out of the appliances in the attic, the air conditioning itself. And also the roof can actually last longer because when you have a superheated roof on the inside of that attic, if it's super hot and then you get the sun baking down on it, you've got heat on both sides. And the shingles are actually 2 parts. And they can actually what they call delaminate, where they'll kind of separate. So that's one issue that can happen with shingles. And then also the granules will get real hot. The tar gets super hot, and then all of the granules start to kind of come off of the shingle. Now the whole shingle's exposed, and then it deteriorates very quickly. And next thing you know, you need a new roof, and you never thought you needed it. It's like, well, it's only 16, 17 years old. Why is the roof so shot already? It's because the attic on the inside was so hot. You could even see some houses where the shingles are look like they're curling up. Mm-hmm. They just don't look flat anymore. It's because it's so hot on the inside. That's usually where the problem came in. So you got to watch that. So you need to get the attic temperature down. So there's a couple different things why you need lower attic temperatures. In the attic, there is a reason you actually have an attic, is because the sun's energy hits the roof, heats up the roof itself, and then if you don't have an attic, that heat would just transfer right into the house. So say you have a vaulted ceiling, that's the most inefficient way to go where you don't have an attic space. And then what the attic space is designed to do is give you a chance to bring in fresh air and lower the attic temperature so you don't have all this heat up against the insulation. So when you have lower attic temperatures, you actually need less insulation. So if you have superheated attic, you need a lot more insulation than you normally would need. But the problem is, and then it actually stores the heat in the insulation, and then you have a problem. So it's kind of a balance. Lower the attic temperature and put like an R38 of insulation in the attic. Those two components put together really make for an efficient attic and an efficient home.
There's passive and active.
Right.
Most people have passive. They have an air hawk, ridge vent,
Yes.
some type of hole in their attic, really, toward the top of the roof, right? It's on the roof, and usually there's air being pulled in from the soffit vents, but it moves kind of slowly at its own pace. The more ventilation there is, the more movements that it's going to have. Tell me about the solar attic fan and what makes that so powerful.
So that actually has a temperature sensor, a kick on at 85 degrees. And so it's a solar fan, but the solar panel itself on the fan drives the motor that's in the fan. It's all at one component, one unit. There's no wiring or anything hooked to it. It's just the solar is what drives the fan motor and the fan blade and pulls the air in from the soffit vents and pulls the heat out of the house. So it's actually pulling air, the air that's in the attic, it's actually pulling it out of the attic, and then the air is coming in through the soffit vents, and that's how you lower the attic temperature. So I always say it's kind of using the sun's energy against itself, because that's what's actually causing the problem is all the sunlight, radiant energy on the roof, and that's what heats up the attic. So when you actually exchange the air in the attic, then now you're lowering the temperature, and you can do that with the sun's energy. That's powering up the motor to run the fan and pull the heat back out. Where passive airflow is basically just a hole in the roof and only so much heat can escape. So kind of a rule of thumb, if people really want to get down to brass tacks, is like you need 8 feet of ridge vent for every 300 square feet of attic space. So if you had 200 or 2,000 square feet of attic space, you need about 56 feet of running ridge vent. And the steeper the roof, the better a ridge vent works. So some people, what the problem is, they come into a house, get it re-roofed. We see this all the time, and it's a low-pitch roof, and maybe it's a hip roof, and they only get maybe 6 or 8 feet of ridge vent in there. And then they're like, why is the attic so hot? It didn't used to be this problem. Well, because they took out an old power fan, or they had something else that was actually active and it was pulling the heat out. And then they put this little ridge vent in there, and it's not working right. So rule of thumb, you need 8 feet of ridge vent for every 300 square feet of attic space. And that's why we do a lot of new home construction as well, because they don't have enough ridge venting in them the way the roofs are all designed. So we'll come out, we'll do the attic analysis. That's part of looking at the ventilation, and then see what you need to add, more ventilation to the attic or not, to see what makes sense.
281-677-3080 is the phone number for Tom, the Attic Fanatic, at Koala Insulation. 281-677-3080, a free attic analysis. You have a great deal.
Super good.
Super good.
Yes.
On the solar attic fan. I have one in my roof, my attic.
Yes.
Roof, attic, same thing. It's at the top.
It's on the roof, but it actually vents the attic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it all installs from the outside.
Yeah. Nice, super clean, easy. You guys have all the right equipment.
Yes.
Everything from the right caulk to the right screws. And it's really designed to be installed with roofing shingles, meaning everything is designed for that. It's not something like, we have this fan, we decide to throw it on a roof. It is designed to be up there, so when it rains and so forth, the water sheds correctly and it's sealed correctly. I don't want anyone to think they're going to have leaks with this.
No, we call it a self-flashing unit. So it has a 14-inch collar where the fan goes up, but it has a 22-inch flashing that actually goes up underneath the shingles so that it sheds the water. So the top 2/3 of the fan flashing goes up under the shingles, and then the bottom third kind of sits on top of the shingles. So it's shedding the water just like the shingles would. And then, of course, we seal it all up, and we've got fantastic screws, and it's a great product, lifetime warranty, super premium product. I mean, this is a really, really good product. I say premium, but I hate to almost say that, because then people think, it's going to be real expensive. No, we're going to give you a premium product, but at a great price.
Well,
so it's really, really good. And professionally installed as well.
281-677-3080. Before we give the details of the deal out, how many of these are you able to do right now? I know we're going into the heat.
Yeah, we'll do 5.
5?
5, yes. 5 for this week.
Wow.
Yeah, so give us a call.
5 for this week. Okay. All right. 281-677-3080. Call now, 281-677-3080. As you're dialing, Tom's going to give the deal.
Yes, so that's the best part. So normally the fan is $1,095 installed, and then we're doing a $200 radio show discount of $200. So that's going to bring it down to $895. But then there's a 26% federal energy tax credit that we were mentioning earlier. So that's going to bring the total out-of-pocket cost down to just $662 after the tax credit. So basically, it's a less than a 1-year payback with energy savings and the tax credit, and then you get a lifetime energy savings.
And if you have the $25 VIP club card from Check-A-Pro,
Even better.
You'll save $25 more. Get that online. 281-677-3080. Call now. You said how many? Five. Only 5 people. Only 5 now. 281-677-3080. Call now. We'll be right back right after this here on Check-A-Pro Radio. Stand by.
Are your electric bills high? Do you have hot spots in your home? Then call Koala Insulation now for a free attic inspection. Call 281-677-3080. 281-677-3080.
Koala Insulation.
Do you have a question for Check-A-Pro Joe? Email Joe at joe@checkapro.com.
Hey, Houston, if you own a home, you need to check out the Check-A-Pro VIP Club Card from checkapro.com. For the past 12 years, Check-A-Pro has been the choice of Houstonians to find local professionals from AC repair, handymen, electricians, roofers, and more. And if you become a Check-A-Pro VIP Club member, you'll get the VIP treatment from every Check-A-Pro service provider. With over 100 local pre-qualified home service providers serving you at checkapro.com, you have access to Houston's best contractors, and your home improvement project will be their #1 priority. As a VIP club member, you move right to the top of their list and receive the VIP treatment you deserve. Plus, club members save $25 on services provided by Check-A-Pro vendors when you show them your VIP card. Just go to checkapro.com to sign up. And for a limited time, your lifetime membership is free. That's right, free. Log on to checkapro.com to get your free VIP card now. That's checkapro.com.
This is Sebastian Gorka. If you're looking for a quality home service provider, log on to checkapro.com. That's checkapro.com.
I'm taking what they're giving because I'm working for a living.
This is the Check-A-Pro Radio Show, sponsored by checkapro.com. To find pre-qualified local service providers, click on checkapro.com. Here's your host, the man with a hard hat and tool belt, Check-A-Pro Joe.
Having more fun than an old man should be having. I used to say a middle-aged man, Tom.
Yeah, I think you're reaching the cutoff.
Why? Speak up. I have to say, though, as old as I feel sometimes, and I know you're thinking, oh, boy, you don't look that old. Thanks. My dad, 90.
90, still
So
going.
I'm a spring chicken.
You're a pup.
Yeah, 90. I've got a son. He's 35 years younger than me. My dad's 35. Oh, I just gave up my age. My dad's 35 years older than me. I'm right between the two. And then there's, 70 years between the grandson and the granddad. Yeah.
So Jimmy must be turning 20.
Yeah, he's 20.
He's 20 now. Okay, nice.
Yeah. And I'm turning the
next thing you know, he'll be 55.
Ooh, ow.
Yeah, it goes fast, doesn't it? It's crazy.
When I was young, people would say, don't blink, life goes by. The older people.
Oh, yeah.
Life goes by. I'm
You're
like,
ah.
I'm like, you know what? It seems like 6 years since Christmas. This is like when I'm 6 years old, waiting for 7, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this year takes. And now it's like, well, wasn't Christmas just yesterday?
I know. It's like it's Christmas again. What?
I know.
The years go too fast.
Too fast. Starting to look at retirement homes.
Oh, no.
You laugh. There are 55-plus places, and they're for 55-plus.
Oh, my wife, she's
you're right around the corner.
She kind of that seems like a pretty good idea. A little more calm.
It's like being on vacation.
I know. It's like, that's maybe not bad.
Not bad. Less responsibility. Let someone else do the heavy lifting, literally.
Right.
Yeah.
Can we talk about my fans?
Let's talk about your fans. Tom the Attic Fanatic from Koala Insulation joining me here. His number, 281-677-3080. Talk about fans. I'm just going to turn my microphone. I'm going to turn my microphone off.
Oh, there we go.
It's all you. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, let me just go over real quick the actual fan. We don't usually talk about the fan itself enough. So it's a 30-watt solar attic fan. It has an adjustable panel, and it also has a humidity sensor and a temperature sensor, all metal housing. The blade in itself it's a polyvinyl. It comes out of a mold, and the reason we do that is it's balanced, so it's super, super when it spins, it's super quiet, but it never goes out of orbit. So that way we can get about 100,000 hours out of a motor, which is about 35 to 40 years of life expectancy on the motor. That's why we give a lifetime warranty.
That's about the rest of my lifetime. How many years was that?
About 35 to 40 years of running time on that motor. So that's basically what we say is, most people say, well, you give it a lifetime warranty. What if in 35, 40 years I need a new motor? Well, we can do that, but in 40 years, probably we're going to have a better option because, if you look back 40 years technology ago, it's like, well, I wouldn't want any of that now. So that's why that's why we give it a lifetime warranty.
I'm just thinking, where are they going to find you in 40 years?
Exactly. Well, I've been doing it for 15, so but the point is, it's a super strong unit, and we just don't ever have problems with them. There really just nothing to really go wrong. It's all solar panel, solar driven. It's all in one housing. There's no electrical connected to it. So if you had an old power fan, then maybe the power is still hooked up to that, but the fan itself isn't running. That can actually is a power or a fire hazard. You need to cut the power to that off, and then that needs to be removed. And we can put the solar fan in that same place. If the power fan is still working, what I suggest in some cases, let's put the solar fan in. It comes on at 85 degrees. Instead of putting, say, 2 fans in that attic, some people say, well, let's just replace the power fan. We'll add that, and then we'll add another fan. We'll have 2 solar fans. Well, if the old power fan is actually still working, we could leave that if you want. We'll put it like on 105 degrees or maybe 110 degrees. So only if the solar fan isn't keeping up because it's just it's a 100-degree day and it's getting inundated with heat and it's not quite keeping up, then the power fan can come on and run the minimum amount. Maybe just runs an hour or 2 a day. Or we can just go, some people say, no, I just want to get rid of, make sure I don't have that fire hazard. Let's go ahead and put the solar in there.
That fire hazard eventually is going to fail. So you may as if you have an old power fan.
If it seems sketchy,
it's old
get
after,
rid of it.
It's old after 2 or 3 years anyway, so just move on.
Move on. Yep. Because once in a while, I just replaced the motor in that 6 months ago. I want to keep that, but I don't want it to run all the time. So let's do a solar fan. So that's what we kind of when we get to the analysis, when we come out to an attic, we'll actually go over these kind of things. And we're going to look at, is the customer, how big is the attic? What color are the shingles? What's the other ventilation in the house? There's a lot of factors to this. How long are you going to live in the house? What are your energy bills? What size is the air conditioner that you have in the house? So there's a lot of factors to determine, do we want to do 1 fan or 2 fans? And we've actually have different size fans. We can do a little smaller fan, and we have a big one. I call it the Beast. It's a 70-watt fan. It moves 3,850 CFM. And that's not for everybody because it's a big fan. But if you have a big 1-story house with like a hip roof, and maybe it's 3,500 square feet, we can literally just put one of these fans in there and would ventilate that whole entire attic. So it does a fantastic job. So we do have some different options that we'll go over when we do the analysis and see. But we do run the reason we do the special on that 30-watt because that's probably 75-80% of our sales. So that's kind of that's the lane we try to stay in. That's the Ford F-150 of the bunch. It's kind of it's the Chevy Silverado. It's like that's their number one seller. That's what we have.
Only $1,095 for the 30-watt solar attic fan installed.
Yes, professionally installed.
Professionally installed.
That's key.
Yes. Before we get to what the government is going to throw in on this, the Checker Pro Radio Show discount is $200 off.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So go through the math again.
So it's $10.95 for the fan, and then that's our normal price, and then we're doing a $200, I guess we'll call it a seasonal radio show discount because we want to encourage people to get it done before we get so inundated with work that we can't keep up. So it's $200 discount. So it's $8.95 the day we do it, but then you get the 26% federal energy tax credit, which is $233 credit. So that comes right off of basically out of your out-of-pocket cost. So we say it's a $662 out-of-pocket cost, but if you're saving $400 to $500 a year in energy savings, it's almost a 1-year payback on these fans. And then you get a lifetime of energy savings. So every year, so say you save, we'll just say $300, say about $1 a day, $300 a year, $350 a year. Every year, your bills are $350 less. 10 years down the road, you're like, I've saved $3,500 on this solar fan because the energy savings are so huge, but the air conditioner is running less. So now that means you get the energy savings, but then the air conditioner is actually going to last longer. The roof is going to last longer, and the house is much more comfortable. So some people say it pays for itself, I think, the first day because they're like, man, that room upstairs used to be so hot. Now it's comfortable. We can actually use that media room or that third bedroom or my son's room is always hot, and he's always complaining it's hot up there. Well, that's because the attic around that is so hot, and that's the problem. So that can be solved with the solar fan, and you get the energy savings.
It's huge. I love my solar attic fan. It is fantastic. 281-677-3080. Call now, 281-677-3080. This solar attic fan deal isn't for everyone. It should be, but it's only going to be for 5 people.
Right. So, the first 5.
Yep.
So, and if you call and it's busy, Just leave your name and number. We'll put you on the list, and we'll call you back in just a few minutes, because sometimes we get 2 or 3 calls at once. And
so sometimes it actually is busy, the old-fashioned busy, because so many people are trying to call in. Chances are it'll go to voicemail and leave a message, and someone will call you back. It'll probably be Ben or Tyler, maybe Tom, or could be Sean. It's hard to say. You guys have quite a crew here in Houston.
Yes, so we kind of separate the city by zones so that we each have kind of an area, so we're not running all over, because Houston's huge. So when we go all the way down to League City, Clear Lake, Galveston, all the way up to Conroe, Huntsville. So that's a big spread. That's probably, 90 miles there? And then we go out to Sealy, all the way out to Sealy, and all the way out to like Baytown and all the way out there. So we have a big area. So that's why we separate it out, so that one guy's not running all over town. We kind of divide it up.
Yeah. All right. And you guys actually help each other's schedule. It's kind of cool, too.
Yes, we can schedule for each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys work well together.
Yes.
281-677-3080, a pre-qualified home service provider at CheckaPro. That means I, CheckaPro Joe, have checked their insurance, licenses, and references. I know all these guys. I know them personally. I know them. They're all great.
Exactly.
If they weren't great, I wouldn't have them on my radio program. I like to pick and choose.
It's like you're out.
I discriminate. I do. I have to. I'm CheckaPro Joe.
Well,
I'm allowed to discriminate.
Oh, you got to do what you say you do.
In terms of level of service.
Yeah, you got to make the customers happy.
Absolutely. Yep. 281-677-3080 is the phone number. By the way, free phone call, no obligation, free attic analysis, by the way. You can call and say, hey, would you just come out and take a look?
Right.
I don't know if I need the fan. I think I may. Also, since we're drawing close to the end of the show, we can talk a little bit about the fact that you can get a free attic analysis also for your insulation. Okay,
yes.
So let's wrap this up at the end of the show here. Koala Insulation does all kinds of insulation. The attic stairway insulator, and the solar attic fan.
Yes. So we do removal. So if you want to remove the old insulation, we also do spray foam. We do denim insulation, cellulose insulation, blown-in fiberglass, and that's kind of what the special is for the blown-in. So we do different things depending on the house. So that's why we do the free analysis first. So if you're calling for the solar fan or calling for insulation, we'll look at both. We're going to look at the overall attic environment and see what needs to be done, and then we'll kind of advise you which way we think you should go, which would actually make the most amount of sense for you, and then we'll go from there. And if you want to get it done, we'll get it scheduled and we'll get it done, ASAP.
I like the no obligation. Too many people are worried, wow, if I call, they're going to pressure me. Do I need a credit card number?
Right.
No, and no. No obligation. Free attic analysis.
Yeah, you have to start with that to see where where the attic stands, like what needs to be done. I mean, if you need maybe 2 or 3 things done, we can break it up and do one thing now, something else later. Some people say, let's do it all together. It just all depends. So that's why when we come out, we talk to the homeowner. And I had one call the other day. A guy says, well, I have to run this by my wife and all that. And I said, well, maybe is she going to be home? Because I know she's going to have questions too, instead of going back and forth, because we have a lot to go over and we're experts at this. And it's actually kind of exciting. Really, people don't know. It's like, let me take a look at this with the whole family there. When the kids and everybody are there, it's great, because that way everybody's on the same page.
That's why you're the Attic Fanatic. You get so excited about this. And I know when you go into an attic, there aren't many surprises. You've seen so many scenarios over the years. You're like, oh, okay, this is scenario number 32.
Right, this is how you fix that. Yeah, I've seen it all.
Yeah.
So I don't get stumped. We never get stumped.
Exactly.
We always have a solution.
Yeah, because an attic is an attic, and if it doesn't have the right ventilation, well, then you'll make sure it does.
We'll fix it.
You know how it works. I mean,
Yes.
and so it's that simple. Tom, the Attic Fanatic, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. And thank you all for tuning in. The phone number one more time to get the deal, 281-677-3080. That's 281-677-3080. Thank you so much for joining me here on Checker Pro Radio, and we'll be back before you know it.
Are your electric bills high? Do you have hot spots in your home? Then call Koala Insulation now for a free attic inspection. Call 281-677-3080. 281-677-3080.